Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some older Glitter and Lasers posts where she's saying some very different things than what she's saying today. Her entire stance on weight and health was very different back then, so this will be a pretty interesting dive into her history. We're also going to be taking a look at a clip of Glitter and Lasers saying she sometimes gets sick because of weight loss and says it's a cycle her body keeps going through, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
Okay, I am not trying to be a sad Sally. I don't need any get betters, feel better. I just want to explain what's going on.
Yeah, don't be a sad Sally.
So my body goes through these cycles. I don't know how or why or what is going on when they happen, but my body's pretty consistent weight, even with the exercise and food I'm eating. And then one day I'll just drop a considerable amount of weight in a very short period of time.
How much weight and how short of a time?
And when that happens, it is very hard on my body.
This seems like a case for the medical detectives. I'm sorry. Okay, honestly, this is a little concerning and confusing.
It is very exhausting and taxing, and I feel sick. And my body has been trying to have one of these cycles for the past week and a half.
Your body has been trying to have one of these cycles where it loses weight and then you feel all sick and whatnot?
I don't know why this was a little different than how it normally is, but it's now fully gone into that cycle.
Okay, this does not sound good.
And it sucks and it's hard, and I've prioritized making it to the gym over anything else in my day.
Which is why we're laying in the bed. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just pointing out that we're filming this while we're laying in the bed. Okay, and then she wrapped it up by saying she's been prioritizing the gym over everything else. So I guess that's her explanation for why she's currently going through this. She pushed it too hard in the gym or something? Either way, that's a very bizarre situation and it sounds concerning. I think you should go to a doctor. Now we're going to be taking a look at some bonus posts from Glitter and Lasers from back in the day. The first one, she's talking about how beautiful she thinks she is. It's titled, Impossible Perfection and Feeling Beautiful. Let's take a look now. This is from February 13th, 2013. This post is going to come off a little vain. It's going to come off a little valley girl who has everything complaining. It's a little bit hashtag white girl problems. The above photo was taken about a year ago during a trip to Turkey. Please ignore the awesomeness of the scenery and the equally as awesome cat for another day. Focus on me. I am not an ugly girl. Okay. While growing up fat was a challenge for me. Yes, I got teased in high school. Yes, my clothing choices were limited. Yes, I couldn't do things I wanted to, roller coaster rides mainly. Yes, occasionally I longed to be something I wasn't. However, I never walked around with self-loathing. When I looked in the mirror naked, I didn't hate what I saw. To the contrary, I found my body beautiful. Even at my heaviest, I was perfectly proportioned. I always had a beautiful face. I got asked on dates. Even more so, men would confess their love to me on the streets. Okay. Sure, most of these guys were batshit crazy, but the fact remains. Okay, so crazy people hitting on us on the street is a compliment. All right. No, I'll take it. I'll take it as well. Hey, baby, you want to go home with me? You're looking hot. Ow! Are you talking to me? Oh, my goodness. All right, the cat calls are going to our head. I never have felt or been treated like I was ugly, even by myself. Okay, well, going on an entire tirade talking about how hot you think you are kinda gives off the opposite vibe. You know what I mean? Who are you trying to convince? Me or you? You know what I mean? I used to tell my girlfriends that I was too happy to lose weight, and for all the intents and purposes, it was kind of true. Okay? All the things girls babble on about when they write weight loss blogs or make healthy eating motivational images didn't really apply to me. The photos of skinny girls in sports bras and fake tans weren't motivational for me. I was not losing weight to feel exy or dress slutty. In fact, I did not think to lose weight to feel pretty, actually desirable or socially acceptable. You did not think to lose weight to feel pretty. I've been saying that for years. Actually desirable or socially acceptable, I already was. Okay? I never learned to hate my body. I never believed the people who told me I wasn't beautiful. So many people regularly told me the opposite. I often felt like the prettiest girl in the room, even though I was the biggest. I had built a great career, great friends, and an amazing life for a person at any size. If women were cars, I was the Bentley of plus-size women. Dude, what is this? Yikes, this is such an egotistical tirade. I've never disliked myself. I always thought I was hotter than every other person the moment that I walked into the room. Okay, is this going somewhere? Is this article just gonna keep going on like this? By the way, I'm sorry for how wrinkly my shirt is. Somebody called out last time I wore a button-up because it also was very wrinkly. I'm sorry, man. The Bentley of plus-size women. Man, people have been calling me that for years. However, after losing both my mother and sister in part to morbid obesity, the reality of being overweight really hit me. Okay? While I was happy, dated enough, you never goon enough dates, good ones are like unicorns. Oh, go on. That's what they meant to say, but it says goon. Goon is actually a word these days, so that's a typo that meant nothing back then, but means something today. That's hilarious. I realized that there were serious consequences to my actions. Okay, so your mother and sister both passed away because of their size and conditions related to that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That's a blog for another day, but the point is I instantly committed to a new life choice and everything started to change. The change has been hard. My self-worth has become tied to a number of the scale. Every day I scrutinize my choices, and when the numbers don't move, I don't just get angry, I loathe myself. That feeling of self-hate and disgust that most women feel towards their body on a semi-regular basis crept into my life, even more so after losing 80 pounds. My skin is starting to droop. I look into the mirror now, and instead of a beautiful body, I see weird wrinkles. My belly button is no longer round. It's a long oval, like a slot in a vending machine. Okay? Can I bring up something? That reminds me of something very specific, but something that I've been noticing. I've been noticing a lot of people these days that do not have a very deep belly button because they got lipo in that one specific part of their body. Like, they'll leave adipose tissue in various other areas where it might be considered advantageous, such as our derriere. But then they will lipo out right around the belly. Like these days, you can see people that are pretty large, and then their belly is all like shallow. They have a super shallow belly button, which does not track. I've been with people, and the larger you get, the deeper your belly button gets. So that's a dead giveaway that somebody's had lipo. When they have this very shallow belly button, but they're thick everywhere else. That's something that I've been noticing for a while. That's all I'm going to say. And by the way, I'm not trying to shame anybody or their bodies by saying that. I'm just pointing out a phenomenon that I've noticed. I can feel that things just don't sit properly in my body. In your body? You could feel stuff moving around in there? Internal organs and whatnot? They jiggle. And no matter how much lotion I put on or how many prayers I say, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Yeah, praying for that, it never works out. God does not have time for these particular type of prayers. Or any type of prayers at all. Actually, we've all come to learn. How about that? For the first time in my life, or at least for as long as I can remember, I am learning what it feels like to hate myself. And what I have learned is that for women, most self-hate doesn't come from a man, society, or anything external. It comes from our own unrealistic expectations to become our own version of perfect, what we think the above wants us to be. It's usually what we are physically incapable of being. The things we want for, whether it's a tan sports bra wearing California dream dream girl or big busted curvy pinup girl, we all have our own mental image of perfect. However, perfect doesn't exist. It might as well be a made-up word. But still, every time I look in the mirror or step on the scale, that word still echoes through my brain. Why can't I just be perfect? I find myself reading a lot more motivational stuff. I find myself dressing up more to hide the ugly. It's so much so that people at work think I am seeing someone. After reading this, they'll get the sad news that only date I am going on, okay, is a one with insecurity. There are a lot of typos in this. As depressing and sad as all this might be, I am grateful. In a way, I think this is allowing me to feel something I haven't felt before. And this feeling has made me want to hug women I know who has told me about their body issues in the past. Okay? I'd tell them I get it now and that I think they're beautiful. I didn't understand before. I didn't know how much it hurt. I didn't understand why you couldn't see how gorgeous you were. I thought you were whining about being thin and a bombshell. I thought you saw yourself how I saw you. I am sorry. Forgive me. I understand now. We are all fighting for our own version of impossible perfection. Alright, so in that post, GlitterAndLazers was saying that she always felt attractive, but after losing both her mother and sister in part to their size, the reality of being overweight really hit her. And then she went on to say that she now empathizes with other women who were having body image issues, even though she perceived them to be beautiful already. I'm trying to wrap my primitive brain around all of these higher emotional concepts. Now we're going to be taking a look at another older post where GlitterAndLazers is saying obesity should not be advocated as a healthy lifestyle. This is titled Deathly Fat from February 17th of 2013. She titled it that way. This is something that she wrote. I debated writing this post for a really long time because, well, it's a bit controversial. While I love drama, I am more into theatrical kind than the hair-pulling, yo mama joke-wielding, girl hold my earrings kind. I like that kind. I like the hair-pulling, yo mama joke-wielding, girl hold my earrings kind of drama. I'm pulling your hair, I'm saying, girl, yo mama, and then I'm also taking my earrings off at the same time. Things are really getting wild. I try to stay out of these types of debates generally. However, there is one issue that I feel I need to add my voice to, no matter what the consequences might be. Deep breath. Being obese should not be advocated as a healthy lifestyle. I want to be very clear about something. I did not say you can't be happy and fat. I did not utter you can't be making healthy choices and fat. I also did not declare you can't love yourself and your body and be fat. Why is it so important I mention this? Because I firmly believe that these arguments often get muddled. That by being a plus-size person with self-love, you somehow also have to advocate the state of being obese as a healthy lifestyle. Okay. Generally, a healthy lifestyle is composed of 4 core things. Activity 30 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week, for 6 out of 8 weeks. That's from letsmove.org. Okay, thank you for citing them. They would have been pissed if you did not cite them right there. 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. A balanced diet. This is tricky because it's about listening and doing what's best for your body, which takes time and regular doctor checkups. Okay, so a balanced diet is about listening and doing what's best for your body. A lot of people are doing a lot of listening to their bodies these days. There's a lot of listening involved in a balanced diet. I spend a good 20% of the day just sitting here listening like, what do you want? What was that? Was that body? What do you want down there? Some chicken nuggets, what? Proper stress management. Okay, so a healthy lifestyle is composed of those 4 core things, according to you. Not once do I see weight mentioned there. Right, that's your list. That's your list. What does that mean? Like, the 3 most important things for health are getting enough sleep, eating healthy, and exercising. You see how I didn't mention weight once there? Right, but that's your list, so you can make it literally whatever you want. You can't reference your own list like it's an authoritative source of information. According to this list that I wrote, by the way, I did actually write this, that particular thing is not important. Okay, but you wrote that list, though, so, except for the first one that was from letsmove.org. Then why the hell is the fat movement so hell-bent on wrapping it into the discussion? The fat movement? What is that? Simple, because in most instances, if you do the above, you won't be morbidly obese. Okay, so according to Glitter and Lasers, if you get plenty of activity and sleep, and you eat a balanced diet, and you have proper stress management, you won't be morbidly obese. Okay, her tune sure has changed over the years. Once upon a time, I joined a plus-size forum after reading an article about people who are attracted to plus-size women. Okay. My logic was, hey, I want to date more. Let's go to the watering hole for men who like a lady like me. Okay. Joining that forum was perhaps the most traumatic experience of my adult, chubby life. The men were obsessed with the unhealthy bits of obesity, the fat rolls, the heavy breath, the lack of physicality during sex. Some even fantasized about feeding a woman. It seems to have cut off from that last slide to this one, so it doesn't really tie in perfectly. However, that self-perception was oddly actualized. They regularly posted nudes of themselves, focused on how they serve and please men, not how they themselves were pleased, and every sentence was ended with some type of statement about how much more desirable their version of sexy was. Note, this was not a sex site, but a lifestyle site. Additionally, I saw post after post of women talking about how obese women are just as healthy as the next person. For context, a person my age and height that exercises lightly 3 times a week, such as a mile walk, and weighs 400 pounds, needs to eat a whopping 3,600 calories a day to maintain that weight. Okay? Do you how hard that is to do if you are eating a balanced diet? I do how hard that is. It's damn near impossible. I've tried. Yet here women weighing 400 plus pounds were actively convincing each other that they were living healthy lifestyles and were just meant to be 200 plus pounds overweight. As much as I wanted to believe that, and at the time I really wanted to believe it, I knew deep down this was a massive lie. This wasn't a lifestyle site, it was a collective denial site, a place where the real world's rules have been altered to be comfortable to a population that felt uncomfortable in reality. Okay, so they had created their own version of reality there that made them all feel comfortable. And instead of taking about that uncomfortableness, they were just pretending it didn't exist. I think she meant to say talking about it. A lot of typos in this once again. It was weird. That's when I realized I could never support the fat movement. To put it simply, I know too much. Okay, I haven't heard of the fat movement until now. For example, I know that regular exercise, eating fiber like veggies and fruits, and protein helps to stabilize hunger. I also know that if you are obese, have a BMI of 30 or higher, you are significantly more susceptible to depression and heart, lung, and joint problems. Additionally, God forbid you ever get diagnosed with a seriously illness, because your ability to successfully overcome that disease is significantly less if you are obese than if you are a healthy weight. How do I know this? In part from reading any article on the effects of obesity on any website ever. Alright, okay, her tune sure was different back then, huh? According to Glitter and Lasers of yesteryear, there is no way that you can be obese and healthy, and she said that the internet can confirm this. Very interesting. In part from my own personal struggles with weight loss and gain, even more personally, I lost my mother and sister as a result of morbid obesity. My mother passed just short of her 52nd birthday in 2003. She had gotten sick and her body couldn't fight the illness. Her death certificate listed her official cause of death as morbid obesity. My sister Catherine died in June of 2011, a result of long-term weight-related issues. Neither my mother nor my sister had ever been tremendously healthy people. I fervently believed that both their deaths were a result of their poor food, exercise, and general health choices. And those choices will affect me for the rest of my life. I lost most of my family. I am constantly envious of the relationships my friends have with their mothers and sisters. I am constantly fearful that I too will pass away young. Sometimes I feel the only thing I really have to remember them by is the ton of shitty habits I am fighting tooth and nail to break. I don't want anyone else to ever feel this type of pain. Now it kills me is every time I see a plus-size site that advocates being severely overweight as a healthy lifestyle alternative. The link is an example. I get livid. Being obese should not be suggested as a healthy way to live. That's why they titled the state of being so. Morbidly obese, a synonym for deathly fat. Instead of focusing on any weight as being healthy, we should encourage people to be active, exercise regularly, and eat a balanced diet. 95% of the time, if a person does this, they will eventually reach a healthy weight. Okay, you said that, not me. I recognize there are exceptions to this rule, but those are only a small percentage of the 35.9% of adults aged 20 years and over who are obese. If we want people to start making changes to their life, we need to stop advocating being obese as a healthy lifestyle. It can't come from size 2 bombshells. It's got to come from within our plus-size world. We have to start looking in the mirror and admitting the truth. Obese is not a healthy size. More importantly, we need to do something about it. Okay, and in that story, Glitter and Lasers joined a specialty type of forum and very much disagreed with all of the stuff that people were saying on it. So it's interesting to see how Glitter and Lasers' mentality has changed over the years. She had a completely different outlook on weight and health back then than she does now. So what do you think about the history lesson that we just got about Glitter and Lasers? Also, what do you think about that video where she's saying that she keeps getting sick and rapidly losing weight? Leave a comment below. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.